All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me cycle this. This is annoying. Ugh. Turn that off. Turn that on. You know, why is it that the things that we rely on never work when we need them to work? It's just so annoying. We're going to have to start that show all over again. That's okay. That's okay. It happens. It happens. All right, let me see if I can switch over. Hey, can you hear me? Testing, testing. How do I sound? Kevin 45, how do I sound? Hello, hello. How am I sounding? Okay. Welcome to tonight's show. We're going a little old school. And when I say old school, it's not really that old because, you know, we haven't been doing this for an incredibly long time. We're coming up on 4 years of doing this on the channel. I mean, it's incredible. And when I say we, I really mean I've been doing this for 4 years. We're going to take a look at a piece of media that I guess can't call it lost media, but let's just say it's misplaced media. It's something that was not really available on the internet. And I guess now it is. I cleaned it up a bit. I put it through some of my little filters and things and patches and tried to make the audio more audible. And additionally, I added captions, but the captions are lazy captions. They're AI captions. Some of them are not correct, but I figured it would be better to have the captions and just have them so that you could kind of get a grasp if you find it hard to hear or understand, if it's not legible, you know, that you'll be able to better hear what is being said. And what we do is we'll pause every once in a while and add our own little peanut gallery commentary on top of the interview. That's how we sort of do it here. If that's something that is not your bag, then don't watch this. This is if you don't mind that sort of thing. So some people find it very irritating. I can totally appreciate that. You might want to move along. So this interview is from August 18th, 1990, and it happens on the tour bus, and it was in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And what makes it so notable, you'll have seen this on Misfit Central, because this is the only appearance of Manny in any kind of media outside of playing on Cough Cool and She. You know, Manny kind of virtually disappeared after that. We only had a photograph or two, but he came to visit Glenn at his show and got on the tour bus. And as far as I know, this was the first time that Glenn had seen Manny since he had left the band. I don't know that to be definitively true, but I believe so. And yeah, it's just, I mean, it's interesting for that reason, because you're kind of like, because Manny is like this, you know, elusive figure until, you know, the last few years, the last 6 or 7 years, when Manny really truly resurfaced thanks to Facebook and the internet and YouTube and whatnot. Before that, you know, like there, you know, nothing, there was no way to, you know, anything about Manny or whatnot. There's just really nothing, really, truly nothing outside of what's on Misfit Central and such. Hold on. I'm trying to find what it says on Misfit Central, like the actual note on the thing. Let's see if we could find it. Interview. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Here is an overview of what we are going to be taking a look at. It's a good one. This is a good one to do this to. That's why I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. What's up? Ian is here. Ian, I didn't know that you were slash execute this whole time. That was Ian. That's hilarious. Okay. So this is for a radio station called WCLH. And it was recorded, as I said, it was August 18th. It was in Pennsylvania. It's 25 minutes long. And Glenn is interviewed by Chris and John from WCLH in the Danzig tour bus before the airport music hall show. So it takes place before a show, not after a show. He talks about the upcoming Samhain album as well as the current tour. He also mentions his shoe size and answers questions about the Misfits and Bootleg albums. You know, it's not like super exciting or entertaining, but it's full of like little minutia that we love. You know, little things. But the thing that really blows everything away is that at the end of the interview, former Misfits drummer Manny can be heard at the front of the bus asking for Glenn. And it's pretty shocking. I mean, it's pretty cool. And, you know, considering the fact that Manny has passed away, I thought, you know, okay, on top of, let me see where I have this first of all, because the reason why I was looking for it in the first place is I am currently putting together a tribute to Manny, sort of like a memorial video. I don't know what you would call it. Just sort of, I thought it'd be nice to do like some sort of digital, like remembrance, honoring, send off, that sort of thing, you know. And I've spoken with some people. I'll let it be a surprise. If you are a Patreon or a YouTube member, you already know who one of the guests are. And I just recorded with another one of the guests last night, who you also do know, but shall remain a mystery for this moment in time. And tomorrow night, we will be recording with another guest. And I think that'll probably be it. I was trying to think of some other people that could work. But for now, I feel confident that these people who all played with Manny at one time or another in some way, shape, or form would be really good people to do this. And me, I don't know Manny. I met Manny. I spent an afternoon with Manny. That's my extent of crossing paths with Manny. But, you know, I don't know. I appreciate Manny and what he did, and figured that would be a cool way to honor him. And the people that are participating agree and have participated for that reason. So that's happening. So in any case, I pulled this thing out. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Also keep your eyes peeled for kind of like a compilation of the commentary discussion on the Manny tape that I had heard from the first 3 episodes, but I cut out all the cringy, I guess maybe everything's kind of cringy on here, but you know what I mean? Like I cut out all the bullshit, just so it's about that, basically, with a long-winded intro like we do here. So that's coming too. That'll probably come tomorrow. So yeah, that'll be cool. And then, yeah, I figured, hey, let's do this just to warm ourselves up, right? Let's just do this. So we got to start the proper way, the way that Rue Morgue, if he were here. And it was funny. I was like looking back on those early recordings. It was like Rue was like, it was you could hear me saying Rue's name, and I was like, damn, Rue. Rue was tuning in from all the way back, man. I mean, a bunch of you were, but man, it's been a while. It's been some time. So let's start it the proper way. For this one's for you, Rue. We're doing what we do.
Jeff is gonna talk about the Misfits right now. He's a nerd about this stuff, obsessed anyhow. Jeff never shuts his face, always needs to talk. Might be some way if he went out for a walk. Do you think that he cares? He doesn't care. He's not into ranch. Backstage.
Doodle-oo-loo-loo-loo. Doesn't it make it more special when we don't do it all the time? We should do that every week. I feel like it's more special now when it's every once in a while. Every once in a blue moon, we bust one out. There's plenty of stuff to talk about here. You know, that's what I think. John of Doom is in the house. He says, so thankful that you, handful of guys, are able to connect with Manny and document some video and stories for posterity. Kudos. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, John. Yes, he's definitely documented for posterity, and I think this episode with these mystery guests will be even better. I think it will give everybody a better understanding of Manny, not from me, because like I said, I didn't know Manny personally at all. These guys knew Manny personally, but to talk with them and hear more about Manny, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. And you know, I will say it does kind of annoy me that you know some outlets picked up on the news, but I feel like not enough did, and it's just not right. It's just not right. I feel like Joey image got way more, not that like you know that's like a thing, but I don't know, I just kind of feel like you know show the guy some respect. You know, Rolling Stone can't be bothered to do a little write-up, you know, even for the clicky clicks, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. All right. So for those of you who don't know how this works, if it's your first time, this might annoy the ever loving shit out of you. I'm sorry. This is just how we do things here. So what I'm going to do is here we go. There's my thing. Okay. So this is the little video I made. These are the captions. Like I said, the captions are not all correct. They're not all correct. I'm not going to talk over the thing. I'm just going to pause it every once in a while and interject on occasion. That's how it's going to work. Okay. And, you know, I'm sure sooner or later, the recording itself will be disseminated, whatever you want to call it, distributed, and you can listen to it without my annoying commentary. But if you're coming here for the show, then this is what we do. Okay. All right. So let's listen to I did already listen to it. I hadn't listened to this. So I had this as far back as 2007, I guess. Here's how one last thing I'll tell you. You know how I found it? It was not on any of my drives. I could not find it. I was like, I know I have it. I know I heard it. Where on earth could it be? And this is a lesson to you all, to all of us who do data management and media management and this, that, and the other. Do not throw away a hard drive, even if you have it backed up. If it is not taking up space, and hard drives typically being as small as they are not taking up space. If it's not taking up space, if you don't need it, you can put it in deep, deep storage, but do not throw it away. Case in point, behind me, and I don't know if you could see this box over here. That is a 2007 iMac that has all of my music on it from, you know, 2007 to 2016, maybe. And it still works, functions. It's perfectly good working computer on a very old operating software. And you want to know something? I scoured my 20 terabyte backup drive and did not find that file. You know where that file was? You know where I ultimately found it? It was on the iMac from 2007. That is why you never, ever, 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 ever throw things away. Ian says, in their defense, the only source they had to go off of was Facebook posts. There was a day-long period where everyone was trying to verify the news if the news was true. So here's the thing about that. So you know how I found out actually that Manny had passed away? If you go to the video of the Facebook Live I did with Manny when I was hanging out with him and we were listening to Cough, Cool, and She, somebody started posting nonstop RIP Manny. Manny is gone. Manny left us today. And I was like, oh my God. But like it was a YouTube comment. So you'll notice on the page, I didn't say that Manny was gone. I couldn't verify it, but I wanted to know if anybody else maybe hadn't heard from him in a while, you know. And then I Googled to see if the news had gotten picked up, and whose picture comes up? Whose picture comes up when you Google Manny Martinez Misfits? Joey image. This is really, it's kind of goofy. It's kind of goofy. I mean, no disrespect to Joey or anything, but look what comes up when you type in Manny Martinez Misfit. Look at this. This is crazy. This is really weird. How about that? Look at that. Look who's there. I mean, fucking, that's Joey Image. That's Joey Image, man. I mean, that is really, really weird. Okay. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about all that. That is a weird situation right there. Okay. Without further ado, let's jump into it, shall we? Like all the YouTubers say, let's jump into it. Hey, make sure to like this video, leave me some skulls in the comments, smash that subscriber button, all that good stuff. Should probably add. All right, let's listen. Let's listen. All right, you ready? I'm not going to talk. Oh God, come on.
No, this guy at the back door.
Hey, wait. They're covering up? What's up? Where did I put the cover? How about a picture? Did I sign 2 for you or something? His cover? Oh, yeah, you're taking it. Oh, yeah, there you go.
I just real quick, can someone confirm for me that the sound is okay? Can you hear, does it sound loud enough? And again, we know that the captions are messed up. The captions are not good. But I just would love for someone in the comments to confirm that. I'm going to keep playing.
That's cool. How about a picture plan? Did I sign it? Oh, I signed it. Yeah, you signed it. Yeah. What? How about a picture? Here, John. John. You like wrestling too? I love wrestling. Oh, cool. It's like my favorite too. Snake. Snake. He's cool. He's cool. Yeah, I met like all the wrestlers too. I know. That's pretty cool. I like wrestling. Who's your favorite? Smile. Right now? Yeah. Shit. I don't know who my favorite is right now. I still like Macho Man a lot. Macho Man's cool. I met him, like, I have a picture of me and him when he was there.
One thing you're going to know. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry, guy. This is the best I could do with the way that the system is set up, but I'm trying not to talk over it so it doesn't mess anything up. One thing you're going to notice about the guys who are interviewing Glenn, they are so enamored of him as they're hanging out with him on the bus. Glenn is actually pretty chill and laid back, but what's funny is the guys sound like Beavis. They're just such Beavis and Butthead like type dudes. Are Danzig, Danzig. Like that's literally what they sound like. You're gonna hear it right now. It's really funny.
When he was the Intercontinental Champ a while ago, I was the best. When he was the best guy. I was the fucking best. He was like totally nice guy too, you know. Like before he lost it to Steamboat, that's when I had my picture. Yeah. Cool. I like King Kong Bundy. Yeah, I got to hang out with him once he came to a Samhain show. Oh, really? He was on the side of the stage. That's cool. Big skinhead, you know, monster guy. Yeah. Came backstage, he ate all our food. Back to the hotel.
Question: Did Samhain? I suppose I should have asked one of the guys in Samhain. Did Samhain have that kind of spread backstage? Like, you know, did the tour right? What was it? A couple pizzas? Like, what kind of spread is backstage at a Samhain show? I'm curious to know. Like, some horse cups of horse blood, horse meat. Like, what do they got going on back there? You know, fit for a wrestler to eat.
So Glenn, what's the deal with the new Samhain album coming out? You know, that new Samhain album that's being released. It's just five unreleased tracks, and it's the unholy stuff, you know, from the CD. Oh, remix stuff. Yeah, you remixed it and stuff. Well, you know, a long time ago. Yeah. When's that due out? Halloween? I guess late September. I don't imagine. Final Descent, I think. Yeah, the Final Descent. That's what it's called. There's like all these different names. I heard people calling it like Traction Planet 9 and stuff like that. Called the Final Descent. So,
see, I love that though. Like, how did they come up with the name Traction Planet 9? Like, who? Like, that was a rumor that somebody just made up out of their imagination. Maybe like a game of telephone or something that, like, you know, all of a sudden people just, you know, I mean, because that shit used to happen. That doesn't happen with the internet anymore. It used to happen all the time. When things were more word of mouth, you got all sorts of weird shit. But that's how stuff like, that's how you get stuff like Barbie Bites the Dust and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like people, they just like they pick up on the tiniest little shreds of something. It goes into someone's ear and then it goes out someone's mouth, and before you know it, you know, it's caught on like wildfire.
So how do you like the tour so far?
Great. Yeah, it's been selling out pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much looks like it's gonna be here too. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You hearing a lot from the Force, Danzig Force?
Yeah, we meet with all Danzig Force people. That's some of them right there that just went on. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I mean that's working out really well.
Yeah, so I guess I don't remember this. The Danzig Force is that was Danzig's street team back in the day. Can anybody confirm that? I was kind of scratching my head about the Danzig Force. Maybe we've read about it in the past. I feel like I've seen that name before. I'm assuming it's the street team. That's what the street team was, or some sort of coordination for the street team.
I haven't gotten around to calling yet. Sorry about that.
All right, so we're gonna do an interview or something?
Yeah. So, all right.
A lot of awkward pauses. So we're gonna do an interview or something? Like they do not know how to start at all. Yes, I remember that rumor that Chuck Biscuits died. Do you know who started that rumor about Chuck Biscuits dying? I think it was an accident. I don't think it wasn't done with any kind of malice or on like intentionally on purpose. But the guy who wrote the book, the Stains book, I believe it was one of his blog posts that kickstarted that rumor about Chuck Biscuits dying, and it was obviously proven to be false. Thank goodness, of course. They're like, Danzig, we're on Danzig's tour bus. Okay, yeah, okay. Danzig Force was actually the first official fan club. It's kind of a goofy name, the Danzig Force. Did Danzig come up with that? Did Erie? Was it you, Erie? Did you come up with the Danzig Force? Well, you know what? We'll ask John Christ. The next time John Christ is on the show, we're going to ask him who came up with the name Danzig Force. It's kind of a goofy name. Brian says the Danzig Force was the original name for the fan club before he changed it to the Angels of the Seventh Dawn. That sounds more Danzig-y to me, if you ask me. That's a more Danzig-y thing to call it, Angels of the Seventh Dawn.
We were like announcing stuff over the air that we're going to come down and meet, and we were getting all these calls and stuff. People giving us all these weird questions to ask you, like what your shoe size is. Like
they have all this time. I mean, they have this limited time to interview Danzig. Are we doing an interview or what? We told people we were going to interview you. I mean, come on.
Your underwear size. Underwear size. We got some girls going, yeah, find out what his underwear size is. They're all happy about it.
Well, here's a good one. I don't wear underwear.
They'll be all happy.
He's like, that literally just happened. Glenn says, I don't wear underwear. And the guys go, that's hilarious, dude. That is just like straight Beavis and Butthead. Straight Beavis and Butthead. And yeah, well, there are lots of stories over the years about, I guess, confirming said fact. If you go to a Danzig show and Danzig is wearing his black jeans and he puts one leg up on the monitor, leans in too hard, you might get an eyeball full of something you don't want to see.
Happy to hear that.
Don't wear underwear. And my shoe size is 9.
He has a 9 shoe size. That's cool.
Sometimes 9.5.
I find underwear very constricting.
Yeah.
He finds underwear very constricting. I love that Glenn's shoe size is a 9. He's probably, if you take 3 of those 9s and you turn them upside down, it's 666.
What else?
So, how's like the response on your new album coming?
Well, it's only been out a month and 2 weeks, and we're already at 350,000 copies.
Really? Wow, that's really good. In our valley, it's like, I think it's number one now.
So two things. One, this is 1990, and the album he's referring to is Lucifuge. So Lucifuge has just come out. Two, 350,000 copies is not, it's by today's standards, that's a lot. Like, that's really good. And if it was independent, if he was independently, like if he was at the Plan 9 level and he sold 350,000 copies, he would be, that would be like platinum status. But in the realm of being a major label, or being on a label, like like Rick Rubin's label, 350,000 copies is not, listen, it's more than any of us will ever sell in our lives. But it's not that much. But, again, it's only a month and I don't know anything. What do I know about sales? Maybe that's really strong. Maybe that's really strong for a month and 2 weeks. But, this is when, talking about album sales, this is when, if you really want to be considered a successful artist, you have to sell over 1 million copies of something, right? Like by mainstream standards. And here's the thing, Glenn is not at the independent level anymore. Glenn is trying to break into the mainstream market. He's trying to compete into the mainstream market. And so the scrutiny that I'm applying to 350,000 copies needs to be contextualized with something like the Black Album that Metallica sold. How many copies of the Black Album did Metallica sold? Let's look that up. See, if Jeeves like actually got his act together, got a fucking mic, he could be riding shotgun right now, searching this shit up for me. He could be my Jamie. He could be my Jeeves looking this shit up for me. But no, he's got to get his act together, man. He's got, how many albums did Metallica Black? That's a terrible question. So let's see. Well, okay. So, as of today, it's sold more than 30 million copies. It's the best-selling Metallica album. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know. Did it come out in 91 actually? Yeah, it came out in 91. But wait, came out. So let's see how much it sold in 1991. Okay. So in 1991, by standards, and here's the thing, is Danzig at this point on Metallica's level? No, they're not. They could possibly push into that level, but they're not there yet. They're still establishing themselves. This is a sophomore effort. They're following up the Danzig 1 with Danzig 2. They've sold 350,000 copies in 6 weeks, whereas the Black Album, I guess, for the year of 1991 sold 17.3 million copies. Okay, so that's 17 million more copies, and that's what I'm sort of looking at, like the gist of the sales. So I don't think that. So my point being with all this is that I'm not sure. My point with all this is I'm trying to gauge what 350,000 albums actually means in 1990 numbers. That's what I'm trying to understand right now. And I think that it's not, I don't think it's as strong of a selling number as maybe Glenn is saying. If he was Plan 9, if it was just Plan 9, if he wasn't with Rick Rubin, that would be like unreal. It would be absolutely unreal. Do you know who did actually? They didn't sell that many, but sold 35,000 records out of the trunk of their car was Sublime with the 40 Ounce to Freedom album. That's insane. Think about talk about like a no budget, no label album selling that many copies directly from the band. It's kind of crazy. I guess that would be maybe that would be the equivalent of selling if an independent band recorded an album in their bedroom and then sold 350,000 out of the trunk of their car today in 2023. That's what I think it would probably be like, something like that, right? All right, I digress. Let's continue on, or we'll be here all night.
Even bet Madonna in our ballot, which is pretty good. Which is pretty good for our ballot.
So we beat up Madonna, huh?
Yeah.
Happening.
The local stores have it on the bestseller shelf.
And they're like, Danzig, #1. Like half of them never even heard it, and like we've been pushing it like a lot
since we got the advance.
Yeah, we got the advance. You know, her Black Wings, and we've been pushing it since then. And everybody, we're getting a lot of calls because we're like on Metal Monday and stuff. We're like, calling, when's new Danzig coming out? New Danzig, and you know, because the dates were changed a couple times. And we were
On
like,
this gig?
No, the album
on the
itself.
yeah, that wasn't due to us. Geffen, who I hate, fucked up our album cover art.
Oh, really?
And had to all be redone. Like the negatives had to all be redone.
Was this the plan for it?
It was the same. They just fucked up the lettering and positioning and stuff. It's like really hard dealing with Geffen. You know.
That always seems to happen to Glenn. That something very similar happened with Slash and Walk Among Us when the colors weren't right. It's just like, you know, I don't know. He seems to be plagued with that stuff.
First, they like took their name off our record. You know, because they took their name off Dice Clay's record, all stuff on our label. They took it off.
I heard that.
Oh, the Ghetto Boys too.
Yeah, I heard the CD company refuses to print them up now.
Well, I forget what happened, but anyways, now all of a sudden, since our record's been selling, Geffen is like, oh, whoa, you are friends. You know, they want to like start to take credit or something.
Since your albums are selling a lot.
Yeah, and now it's just like, fuck you. Who cares about you?
So, what bands out now do you like? You know, like stuff you like?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. Soundgarden have a few good songs. On the early part of this tour, Corrosion were on tour.
COC.
Yeah, their new stuff is way better than their old stuff. New stuff kicks
Is
in.
it still like that hardcore?
No, it's like very groove, and, you know.
Okay, I just Googled how many copies of Danzig 2 were sold in 1990 just to like get a full glimpse of like what the year looked like. And this is something that came up. I don't know how accurate this number is. Take this with a grain of salt. It says, how many records has Danzig sold? Like, as in like total, right? Total. And it says here that Danzig in total has sold 10 million records. Okay. Like total in decades. That's decades. So Metallica sold 7 million more records than Danzig has sold in the entire career of the band. If this number is correct, and is it correct? I don't know if it's correct, but I'm just going based on what the number is. That means that in just that 1 year alone, they still outsold Danzig by 7 million copies. Again, Metallica is Metallica, and Metallica's at the height of their powers, whereas Glenn and Danzig are more of still, even though they're trying to push into the mainstream, they're still kind of, I mean, a cult. They still have more a cult fan base, right? Based on the platform that Glenn had established with his earlier bands. So if Lucifuge came in at 92, that really doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, I guess in the top 100 it was number 92. It doesn't sound like, maybe it's selling well for Danzig and by Danzig standards and for a band that's soft with its sophomore record, but 350K in 1990 would not be considered what it would be certainly today, just for the record.
Yeah, originally the show here was billed as with
COC.
Really?
With energy.
Yeah,
How do you think those guys?
Yeah, we
Glenn
kind of
makes a gesture with his thumb pointing downward.
How did Warrior Soul get matched in like this tour?
Warrior Soul, I don't know if I should tell you or not. What I will say is,
you know, somebody just mentioned to me you should check out Warrior Soul, and now here it is being referenced in this super old recording. Is that a coincidence? I think not. I think not. I think maybe I need to look into that. By the way, if you're just joining us, make sure to like this video, leave us a skull, subscribe, do all that stuff. Leave a comment, this, that, and the other. Let me keep going.
that it was a political thing that happened. And rather than go through a lot of bullshit, we just put them on. And I think they're going to find out that it's not going to be any fun being on this tour with Soundgarden and Danzig, because I don't think the people coming to see us are really...
Are there to see them?
Don't want to see them. I think they're going to say this is a poser band, and know.
I heard that.
You know what I mean? So I think in that aspect, it's really tough. I know Soundgarden have a good following, and I know that our following, I mean, most of our fans don't want to see any band before us. Usually they're pretty much like, you know,
away with
get
you.
off,
Away with you.
you know, Danzig, you know. So in that aspect, Corrosion did really well when they were on tour with us because, you know, they held the people's attention, which is really tough on a tour because, I mean, we know.
It's amazing that Corrosion of Conformity, I mean, over the years has consistently done shows with Danzig in one form or another. Brian says Smashing first Danzig record is the best-selling one. Lucifuge is the #2 best-selling Danzig record. But I can't find how many total copies that Lucifuge has sold. Again, you know, also, you know, SoundScan, I don't think came into existence until 1990 or 1991. And now I think SoundScan is kind of obsolete. So it's like these numbers are really, really, really difficult to sort of ascertain.
We opened up for Slayer for 4 dates, and we opened up for Metallica for a whole tour. You know, you got to go out and you got to be real bands because if you're not,
what are you planning on the second leg of your tour? Like, this is like only the first leg. What are you going to plan on the second leg?
we'll probably go out and do all of the areas that we didn't do on this tour. Plus, we'll hit a few of the same markets.
Same bands or?
No. Soundgarden are going to go in the studio and do their new record.
Are you going to
And
be
they're long overdue.
Are you still going to be headlining?
Yeah.
On the next leg?
Yeah.
Because like there was some talk that, you know, the first leg you'll be headlining, and maybe the second leg you'll be opening. You know, like, I'm glad that, you know.
Like, what is, you know, but like, here's the thing, like when they say there's some talk, they're not talking, like, it's not like there's the internet is not here. There's no message board where there's some people just randomly talking as if that was significant enough. When he says some talk, he's talking about in whatever, like, you know, whatever backwater town he's in Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? Like, there's some talk like that. It just doesn't make any sense in the year 1990. Yeah, Winston, you're right. 1,000 copies from your trunk would be huge now, for sure.
Well, that depends if we do an arena tour or something, but there's only very limited amount of bands that I will personally open up for. AC/DC.
What are the other ones? Oh, it's God, it's already spoiled. Shit. I didn't pause it fast enough. I thought it would be fun. That would be a fun game. Guess what 3 bands 1990 Glenn Danzig would open for? And AC/DC, Ozzy, and
the other would be Metallica, and that's pretty much it.
So AC/DC, Ozzy, and Metallica would be the 3 bands that he would want to open for. And I mean, he pretty much did. I don't think Danzig ever did any shows with AC/DC. Actually, that might be the one band that didn't do nothing.
We don't leave big choices. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like if I don't like the band, there's no way I'm going to go on before them. You know. So I either like the band that we're, you know what I mean? I think bands like Ozzy, you know, regardless of what he does now, I mean, and AC/DC are pretty much legacies. You know, they've got a really long track record behind them. You know, I think they proved their point too. So,
what do you think of those shows you did with Slayer?
They were fun.
How did the audience like take you guys?
Well, in LA, of course, we have a big following. Even before the album, we did it before the album came out. And LA was great. I mean, same thing with Detroit and Felt Forum.
You know, it's interesting too. I wonder here, you know, he says bands that I like, but I wonder if like the flip side of that is actually bands that can elevate like his profile that he likes. Like Ozzy would elevate Danzig's profile. And there's actually a story recently, you know, Danzig did eventually play Ozfest, and there was a whole, I guess, brouhaha between them and a falling out with Danzig. And then Metallica obviously is Metallica, especially Metallica post 1991. I believe Danzig did more shows with Metallica, and they did a bunch of dates with Metallica in 94. And that's after Danzig cracked the top 40 with Mother 93, right? I mean, he's AC/DC is AC/DC.
It was incredible. I mean, fuck, you know, the barricades came down, you know. And Chicago went well. We had a few technical problems because we didn't have guitar techs or anything, but yeah, it went great. I mean, we got encores in Detroit, New York, LA, Chicago. We just had a few albums.
You gonna plan on doing any older stuff tonight, like some Samhain stuff, or just all
We did that last
first
time
two?
out, and it's just Danzig.
You have two albums now.
Yeah, it does, and John and Chuck, aren't really into doing it either. This is Danzig. You know what I mean? This is what they do. And it seems I don't think no.
Yeah, but you want to know something? And when you listen to those first few shows where they really played a lot of Danzig material, I mean, that was good stuff, dude. That was really, really good stuff. And they sounded so good doing that Samhain stuff, I mean, just really spectacular. I mean, doing songs like Black Dream and the Shift, right? I think the Shift, and man, sure, you're not going to do it anymore. You don't have to play London Dungeon anymore, but it's like, who doesn't want to hear John Christ shredding the face off of London Dungeon? It's just amazing. Ravner says, great interview. 1990, Glenn was living in the scary house on Franklin Avenue, and I saw Danzig on one of the first Ozfest, September 96 in Maryland. I think that was the first and only time that Danzig. I don't think Danzig came back to Ozfest after that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No one really cares. No one's been saying anything. Most people really like the new songs.
Yeah, your album's getting really good response. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, even though he wants to make sure that Danzig can stand on its own with Danzig material, nobody would be upset if he threw a couple of Samhain songs into the set just for fun on occasion. And that really stopped in 1990. And if you look, I mean, there's every once in a while, every once in a blue moon, there's like a Halloween 2 maybe, but that's really, there's not much else is played after that, at least not for a very long time.
Yeah, matter of fact, when we do Devil's Plaything, all the people are singing the low part, the beginning, the real soft part. It's just like, now the people singing. It's hot.
A lot of people like that song. A lot of people call for it.
That's pretty much my favorite song on the record. That and
777 is a good song.
I like 777. Blood and Tears I really like a lot. I like Pain in the World a real lot too.
That's like total evil stuff.
Pretty much.
That's total evil.
That's all it's about.
That's like total evil. Evil.
So what's the deal with Lucifuge? How did you come up with that name and all?
Just I thought it fit the whole.
Is Lucifuge even a word? I don't think Lucifuge. I mean, I think it's a made up word. Oh, maybe not, actually. Okay. I was totally wrong. So Lucifuge is actually the government in hell. Head of government in hell, appointed by Lucifer, according to believers. That's Lucifer Raphael or something. Huh. Okay, Ravner says he's mispronouncing it. Yeah, this is what I had heard about the Ozfest falling out. Well, that at least is one side of the story. One side of the story is that Glenn tried to hold out and wouldn't go on until he got more money. He wanted $10,000 more. But here's the flip side of that story. The flip side of that story, as I'm told, as I understand it, is that they had a live at Ozfest CD, and they put that Ozfest was selling. And they put a Danzig track on the CD, which is not a bad thing. And I suppose that they're kind of like, Sharon and whatever, the family is like, well, look, I mean, this is going to sell you more albums. This is going to expose you to a wider market. This is like really, really good marketing. Just allow us to have this song for our CD. And then the flip side of that is this, the syncing license, the mechanical syncing license, whatever, for the fee for a song, for a song, the rate or whatever was around $10,000. So Glenn, or, as I understand it, Glenn was actually holding out for the fee. Now, is that a good business move? Would it have made more sense just to sort of take a wash on the fee and be on that CD and push, again, this is, after the classic lineup has dissolved, and this is probably when Glenn's most lost in the weeds. Not that Glenn thinks so or Glenn cares, right? Like, that dude never gave a shit about where his career was going, but just that the classic era had sort of completed at that point, and he was putting out an album that many perceived to be his least well-perceived album by people who are not fans, right? People who outside of the Danzig fandom, most people cannot listen to Black Acid Devil, that sort of thing. And so maybe it would have been good if trying to boost sales of your record or whatever, to maybe put the song despite the fee. But ultimately that's what that's the piece that Sharon leaves out of that conversation. So whether Danzig was foolish or not doesn't matter. It's that she's not acknowledging that it was over a sinking license fee. So who knows? Who friggin' knows? Okay, so check it out. Danzig 1 and Thrall both sold gold, 500,000 copies. Interesting. Isn't the fee covered by the record company? I don't know. Who knows? Who friggin' knows? Maybe. I don't know who Sharon and Ozzy's record company was. It might have been them. Maybe they were doing their own imprint label. Maybe it was because it was through Ozfest. It was something that was directly connected with Ozfest and not necessarily a record label. I'd like to know the details of the Ozfest drummer. It's just there. There's nothing. I literally said all that it was. That's literally what it was. That was the other side of the story, though. They just said that Danzig held out for more money and, this, that, and the other, but they just didn't acknowledge that they were using a song and he didn't agree with that or something like that. I don't know if that is the exact to a T a bit of the story. My best friend of 12 years was named Lucifuge. Lucy, still miss her to this day. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Paul, that I don't know why you're missing your friend, but I'm sorry for whatever it might be. Winston says, I'd like to know the details. And you already said that. All right, let's keep listening. Sorry.
Vibe surrounding the record.
What about the upside down cross you get in the CD? How did you come under fire for that?
We haven't come under fire for it yet. That was Rick and my idea. We had this old. He showed me this old Isaac Hayes album and folded out into lots of different things, And I said, well, imagine if you just folded out into an upside down cross, and it was
Yeah, I was happy to see that because when I got the CD, it's you open up and totally different cover. I was cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
One thing that I like about Rick is that I like doing stuff where you don't just get an album flat, and this is your album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with the first album, it folded out, and this one, the CD opens up. Originally,
is that a gimmick? Your CD, your album, it's a gatefold. It's a gatefold. And gatefolds can be sticky. And you know what else is sticky? Well, instead of telling you, I'm just going to let Jeff do the talking. How about that? We've got a new sticker deal at Riot Stickers. That's right, folks. We are starting a brand new promotion here at riotstickers.com, and it is for die cut stickers. What exactly is die cut? What does it mean? It's time for Sticker Science 101. Basically, you got your regular stickers, right? But we introduce a new element with the die cut sticker. Basically, what you do with a computer-guided scalpel. That's right, computer-guided scalpels. Isn't that a great band name, Computer-Guided Scalpel? I love it. You can cut the exact shape of whatever your design is. So whatever you got going on, whatever its borders are, there's no borders, there's no limitations. You take your computer-guided scalpel and you just cut around the edge and you get, voila, a die-cut sticker. So in addition to the UV coating that protects from the sun, in addition to being printed on vinyl, which makes them weatherproof and waterproof, you can now have the exact shape that you want. Well, you always could, but you couldn't for a price like this. For $69, you can get 200 die-cut stickers. There are some people out there who are die-cut fanatics. They need die-cut stickers in their lives. You are not going to find a better deal than this. Now, there's only one place you're going to find this incredible die-cut sticker deal for $69. 200 stickers for $69. And that's if you go to the link down in the description. You go to riotstickers.com/Frumess. That's riotstickers.com/Frumess. What? Sharpie Riot, have you lost your mind? Have you lost your mind? These prices are insane. These prices are Crazy Eddie level prices. If you know Crazy Eddie, then you might be old. You might be older than me. You're probably way older than me. You click on the link, you do the thing, and you get your die-cut stickers. Do not hesitate to get this deal, okay? And without further ado, Future Jeff, roll the 60-second Riot sticker commercial. Go, do it.
We make stickers, banners, and buttons too. Posters and promo cards. There's nothing we can't print for you. From stage backdrops to bass drum heads. We can print on shirts. We can print on hats. We can print on pants. Cheap prices and high quality. Quick turnaround times and free shipping. We also offer free artwork support. Great customer service and so much more. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb.
And that's a promise. All right, we are back now. You like my new automatic thing? Isn't that nice?
We were going to do albums. It was going to fold out also, but then Geffen decided they didn't want to do albums. And so the artwork wasn't even done for an album. And then they decided they were going to do albums because they were getting some orders for them. And so last minute they just slapped the album thing together. But originally the album was supposed to fold out also, just like that. But it couldn't get done. The artwork couldn't get done in time to meet the deadline.
That they need the album, huh?
Yeah, so, I mean, so originally the album also was supposed to fold out just like, the CD.
So what does Glenn do on his spare time besides watch wrestling?
So he's saying that the LP, not just the CD of Lucifuge, but the LP of Lucifuge would have also folded out like an upside down crucifix, which would have been really badass, I guess. That would have been cool.
I don't know.
Just hang out.
I read a lot. I get involved with other stuff. I've been directing, the videos for the band.
He reads from his book collection, of course.
There's lots of stuff, tons of things.
What happened to Her Black Wings? The video, never happened. I mean, I see the ads all the time, like the commercials for it, for your new album, but I haven't seen a full-length video on MTV yet.
You won't see it on MTV.
They're not going to play it?
Nope.
Because, from the force, I know they sent out postcards, it was going to premiere.
Yeah, well, originally they'd okayed it. They said it was great. They wanted to play it. Then 3 weeks later, they said, we need you to make a cut in it. And I was like, why? And they picked a shot of a silhouette of a girl. So, I mean, she's just totally in shadow. You can't see anything.
I always love hearing Glenn talk about being censored in the 90s on music video rotations and whatnot. Oh, hey, look, everybody, it's Mom Longoria. How are you, Mom? How you doing? Winston says, yeah, Winston, exactly. I don't know if Manny was Cubano. I don't know what his background was. I'm assuming that he was some Martinez, sounds Mexican of some kind. I don't know. I don't remember. I think maybe he told me in his interview. It's funny. One of my surprise guests for the memorial show, I asked him a question and I totally had forgot that like Manny had mentioned in the interview. I just, like I said, I haven't listened to it in a long time. It's been a minute. Hey Jeff, really digging your content. Finally, someone who's into old Misfit stuff as much as I am. I saw the great fits. Hey Wilson, thanks for joining us. Always great when we have people enjoying the enthusiastic things that we enjoy. All right, let's keep listening.
And she's got this thing flowing above her, and like her material on her dress crinkles up, and it looks like a nipple. According to them, I don't think it does. But so we said, okay, we'll put in a new shot. We put in the same shot, only from a different sequence, so you wouldn't see that. Then they said, fine, we'll play it. Then 3 weeks later, they said, we need you to make another cut, and I just went, well, dropped it.
So you're going to be coming out with another home video? Or?
Yeah, probably. And we also did a video for Killer Wolf with the guy who does all the Depeche Mode videos.
We've talked in the past, like, we did a whole episode on the first Danzig video. I think if you're a YouTube member, you could see that one. That's a YouTube member video and might be on Patreon. If not, Patreons, remind me, let me know. I'll make sure it's there. But it's interesting how, like, I don't know if the entirety, I think the home video's genesis kind of comes from several things. One is that they wanted to do, he'd been wanting to do cassette releases as early as the Misfits. I mean, we had the Brain Eaters video, right? I mean, the Misfits had a music video. What other punk band? I guess Black Flag had a music video. There were some music videos, but just the fact that he got that far, pretty incredible. And then the talk about Samhain cassette tapes, like horror stories that he talks about, and finally making it happen, having the resources and, apparently enough material on the cutting room floor to do a feature documentary, doing a Danzig home video. What better way to get those videos out there if they can't get mainstream rotation? Right? Mainstream, rotated play. I mean, music videos sold albums. Was like the biggest. Music videos are one of the most important, marketing forms of the 80s and 90s, and obviously YouTube has kind of supplanted that now. I mean, people still make music videos specifically for YouTube, of course. But just the music video, the necessity of the music video has changed a lot in the last 2 decades, I would say. But those home videos were important, right?
A real good photographer. His name is Anton Corbin. That's a really strange video.
So what's that going to be coming out on?
I don't know. We'll see if MTV wants to play it, but I really don't want MTV playing our videos, to be honest with you.
Yeah, not if they're going to cut it up.
No, well, they were not allowed to cut it up. The whole thing is that, to me, MTV is a pussy station. It's like pussy music, you know what I mean? It's like, they have this thing called Headbangers Ball, and it's not Headbangers Ball. I dare them to play a creator video or something, you know what I mean?
They'll play like maybe one good video right
It's
before
all
they go.
underground glam.
Yeah,
Not even underground glam. It's like everything you see on TV that, like on a regular day or Monday through Friday, a lot of it's on Headbangers Ball, like Poison. A real headbanger band. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, hey.
Here's Poison.
Poison, yeah. No. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you can hear the rattling. The signal is so loud in this ear, or it's like so strong. I can hear it's rattling the speaker in my headphones. It's really annoying. I'm sorry about that. I was wondering when I was listening to this before, when I was like pre-screening it, I was wondering if, I don't always do that, but on this occasion I did. I was wondering if he was going to slag Ricky Rackman, who had a good relationship with Glenn. At least, I had Ricky. Ricky was on the channel, and we talked about his time with Glenn, his interactions with Glenn Danzig, and that those guys were friends and whatnot. I was curious to see if he would slag Ricky Rackman, and of course he didn't, because they were friends. They were cool, but it's just ironic that as soon as Mother 93 hit, all of a sudden, if it wasn't for MTV, Mother 93 might not have been a top 40 hit. Finn McKenty, who I love, who I, kind of try and do my own version of Finn McKenty on this channel to an extent. He had a really good hot take on the importance of Beavis and Butthead. And something that I don't know if I said it to Erie, but I definitely said it to John Kress, was like, how do you feel about that? Did I say it in one of the episodes? I'm trying to remember if it was in a text message or if it was in an episode. We're just talking about like the importance of the exposure of being on Beavis and Butthead and what that did. And shortly thereafter is when they broke the top 40, right? So I don't know. There's something to be said for MTV, Glenn.
Like, I think to somebody at MTV, I mean, like, to them, Poison is, metal.
It's the metal.
Yeah, I was like, them or Enough is Enough or DAD, or, you know what I mean?
So
It's like,
Funka Push.
all these guys are like, eventually, once they make enough money, get their dicks cut off and become like girls or something. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, that, to me, that's not metal. I'd like to see Motorhead on there or something.
Yeah, Motorhead be real cool.
Being metal DJs, we refuse to play anything.
These guys are such goofuses. They're like, the goofus is the perfect way to describe. Yeah, Glenn.
Cool.
And Venom or something like that.
That's like the slow.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? It's even a joke. I mean,
So, what kind of music does Glenn Danzig listen to in his spare time?
everything. I listen to horror soundtracks.
Hellraiser 2.
Hellraiser 2
Yeah,
is
I read that.
incredible. That's
Yeah, I read that.
that. The Omen soundtracks are great. I listen to old blues, of course. I listen to fucking Elvis, Motorhead, yeah, Roy Orbison, fucking Sabbath, Skin Yard. I like Skin Yard.
We just got
We heard it the other day. Our station manager was trying to push it on us. We didn't actually hear it.
No, we didn't
I'm
actually
gonna play
hear it.
Skin Yard. You guys will like
and
it.
we're like,
The only one I heard is
I mean, for as goofy as these guys are, not that I'm not a goofy guy, but like, they're having a good, they're vibing with Glenn. They're having a good time. Everybody's having a good time. No, Glenn's like super laid back, having a good conversation. I mean, it's cool. It's chill. It's pretty chill. Pretty chill.
Hollow Ground. Alright, so I don't know if the other ones are like that. Like,
Check it out.
So, what are some of your like favorite movies and stuff? You're saying like Omen. I guess like.
I like the Omen trilogy. They're finally making the fourth one.
They're gonna make another one.
Yeah, well, it's 5 books. So, I mean, they're kind of behind anyway. They should have made it. But, let me see. I don't know. I like a lot of stuff like Cronenberg.
I'm sorry. I love every chance. You hear it just in the background. Glenn says he liked Cronenberg. We know that from his reviews. Remember when we looked at all of his reviews and stuff? He was greatly praised Cronenberg and very hard on Stephen King and even George Romero.
Yeah, we're the token metal band there.
Token.
You know what I mean? We sell way more records than all these people. And then, like,
You laugh.
we're last here. But our name, like, here's John Doe. It's like,
Who's John Doe?
it's like a has-been from X. He's like an old alcoholic or some shit. I don't know.
Come on. How you going to talk shit on John Doe from X, dude? I mean, I don't know where they were. I mean, X wasn't really doing much in 1990, but like, dude, come on. Those first 4, I think Glenn would have loved to have been produced by Ray Manzarek. And, come on. Show some respect, Glenn.
Do you like care a lot if you get popular, or it doesn't matter to you?
It's nice, of course. It's nice, people like you and shit, and it's great. But first things first, do a good record, and you go out and play great live shows. That's it.
It's pretty funny. I'll tell you a funny story.
Hey, I totally agree with that.
I know this guy at this record store. I won't mention it, but I was asking him, if he got your album and stuff yet, like any posters and stuff. And he's like, no, not yet. And I'm like, well, did you hear it? He's like, no, not yet. Because he's pretty much into the alternative scene. And I
Maybe
go,
like REM, he's an art flag or something.
yeah. And I go, let me go home and get it. So I run home and I get your CD and I pop it in for him. Like, we're at the store and it's like there's all these people in there, and I just pop on Killer Wolf, and he's like, this is cool. I'm like, yeah, I know. And, you know, it's like,
Dude, that's such a great story, dude.
everybody thinks Danzig is like some cloud band or something, you know, like
Yeah,
something
metal
something
band.
evil. And then this other guy from the store comes up and he goes, Danzig, I thought they were a thrash band. I'm like, no, you gotta listen to them. It's like, it's funny because
Well, they don't know.
you know, they
They're
don't know.
dopes.
Like, why don't you listen to it before you judge it and stuff? He
Because
seems like,
they're morons, of course.
yeah, they work at their little record store and listen to that stuff, Madonna and all their other stuff. They never get to hear any of the good stuff. So.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what happened. He's like, he thought he was gonna impress Glenn. He's like telling the story. Yeah, like totally told this guy to go listen to you guys. So I like ran and got my CD, and then like I brought it back for him and had him listen. And
Thought that was funny. I like that.
It's typical, actually.
So what's this I heard? Like I got a letter the other day about you might be coming out with another video for the Force members or something.
Yeah,
Something
you
like
send your
that.
questions in
Send
and
your
you'll answer
questions
them on
in or
the
something.
video.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. No one's told me about that, but
Some
it sounds like a good
PJ
idea.
or something.
That they came up with, they'll tell Erie, and Erie probably forgot to tell me about it, but yeah, I'd love to do something like that. That'd be great.
It says Colin.
Yeah,
Did
it says
say call?
no,
or
it didn't
write?
say call
Write.
because it said write in. It says like address questions for Glenn, and we can't call because you'll be getting the questions yourself, and it's gonna be coming out on the video for fans and supporters and stuff. And I was like,
I know we're
that's really
doing
cool.
special T-shirts for the Force team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know how we do like a small little logo over here for our tour shirts and
Yeah.
stuff. We're gonna do a special Angels of the Seventh Dawn Force team shirt, where it's just real small back here, and it says something over here in the back. And only Force members can get them. They're not for sale. That's it.
To get on the Force team, just call the hotline.
You have to get in touch with PJ
Yeah,
and
just
Jennifer.
and they give you flyers and stuff. And stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I just got them like last week, a package last week.
Yeah.
We must spend a fortune on.
We end up paying.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Because like I mean, the package I got was like $240 postage. I mean, if they send out hundreds of them.
Yeah. Well, it's like, see, I don't know. I always feel like that was one of the problems with the Misfits. I always felt that the fans were really important, and
oh my God, is he bringing up the Misfits?
they didn't want to even talk to the fans. They wanted to get in a, van or truck or whatever after the show and leave, not talk to anybody. And then some kids stand there with, a pen and a piece of paper. How,
Is that why you started like the Fiend Club back then?
that's one of the reasons I started it, and then eventually, I ran that whole thing, and they didn't want to, anything to do with it. It's kind of funny now that I think they're trying to do that, these guys, or whatever.
So, I mean, I don't know what Doyle and Jerry were like when they were younger, but we know, we don't have to go through it like we always do, but like we know that Jerry is like so not that at all in any way, shape, or form. And mind you, I mean, Glenn is also in the 90s. I mean, really all times, Glenn is very accommodating to anybody, to all his fans and whatnot as well. And Doyle is Doyle, but it's, that what's super interesting, because this is 1990, mind you, something else that we didn't mention, and now we should, since he's bringing up, they're talking about Jerry and Doyle ever so briefly. I mean, they're in the middle of a lawsuit when this is happening, and Jerry and Doyle are recording and doing Christ the Conqueror and trying to get the Doyle fan club up and running, which is what they're referring to right now. And it's interesting to hear Glenn's reaction to that. And thank you. I'm glad this is if you're enjoying the stream, if it's your first time here, whatever, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a skull in the comments, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, it's like. Did
I
you
hate
hear?
the whole punk rock reunion shit, like where, Stiff Little Fingers got back together, the Buzzcocks, all these bands, and they're trying to like relive some glory that they kind of never had anyway.
Not to get you angry by bringing it up, but did you hear the new band that Doyle and?
No, I've heard it's terrible. But
It's I think it's glam, actually.
Yeah,
it's
like
it's
glam
very
rock.
like, you know, you listen to the Misfits and then you hear this and it's like, what happened? It's like they joined it just to join it, it seems, you know?
Well, I have my own opinions about it, and I think basically they didn't do anything for almost 8 years now.
Drive trucks or something.
Yeah, and they work for their dad. They're very rich, and so they kind of once this all got popular, the Danzig thing. I think they just decided we can make.
So, I mean, Glenn's saying here, like, oh, it's because Danzig got popular, and that's why, yada, yada, yada. And I don't know. I think that's just like maybe one tiny fraction, what we could do. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if we get a real straight answer. You just got to look at Jerry. Jerry loved to talk back then. There's a lot of interviews with Jerry, and you can get a lot of sort of Jerry's. We have covered Jerry's, interviews extensively. It's crazy. Jerry's going to be coming up on not having done a public interview in almost 10 years. He hasn't done a public interview in nearly 8 years. Isn't that crazy when you think about it? This guy who could talk a mile a minute, who put me to shame with how the stream of consciousness that comes out of his mouth, suddenly, not talking. But like, he talked a lot back then, and he taught, that was one aspect. I think another aspect was they just realized that they were part of this thing that was of value, and that value was definitely further enhanced by what Glenn was doing. And to an extent, and I'm sure all those guys would disagree with it, but the unsung hero that nobody ever mentions, the guy who was filling a need in that market, a desire for all the punk kids who had discovered the Misfits, but were too young to see the shows, and Jerry and Doyle are doing Christ the Conqueror, and this is happening and that's happening. Bobby Steele, and playing as the Undead, doing Misfit songs, doing Bullet, doing I Turn Into a Martian, doing Rat Think. He's the only one out there playing Misfit songs of those guys at that time. And, that will be part of a case that he tries to build against members later on in lawsuits and stuff. But that's a story for another day. But make no mistake, if you wanted to hear live Misfit songs at that time in 1990, probably the best place to go. If you're not hearing John Christ do London Dungeon, then the next best place to go is Bobby Steele, an Undead show. I suppose, I surmise,
Are you two like all three is like enemies now, or
We don't talk. Yeah, I talk to all the old guys in Samhain, but I don't.
like London and
But I don't talk to any of the guys in the Misfits. But maybe Googie once in a while, but that's about it.
That was shocking to hear that that Googie and Glenn talked once in a while as late as 1990. Who knows what that really looks like? But the idea that maybe Googie and Glenn had contact is interesting. And he says Robo as well, but not Jerry and Doyle. And not mentioning, because at this time, does anybody know that they're locked in a lawsuit? I mean, how public is that? Apart from, that's not true, actually. I guess Jerry, I don't know when Jerry started talking about the lawsuit. I don't remember. We've covered this in the past. I just don't remember. But, they've definitely, the lawsuit was, I guess Jerry was really, I don't think Glenn ever was really discussing the lawsuit in public. And he most certainly is not here in the year 1990.
Well, if I see Robo, yeah, he's a nice guy.
seems like a cool guy. He was always like funny. On the album, you guys all be meeting, Robo would be smiling and stuff. He was himself. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, so you're saying you hate like all the bootleg stuff that's out now.
It's really hard to get the crackdown on it. But I mean, every time we're on tour, I'll go into a store and tell them, take that down. Take that down.
with their shirts of their albums.
The shirts and the bootleg records.
Yeah, I see a lot of bootleg records around.
As a matter of fact, we saw some today.
Yeah, we saw some today. I saw
Misfit 7-inch.
Misfit 7-inch.
Where was this?
Samhain 7-inch.
Bethlehem. I don't want to mention the store, but it's in
Yeah, tell me the name of the store.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What was the name of it?
Play It Again.
Play It Again. He has a store in Detroit too.
We're there.
I saw Misfits 12-inch from 930 Club, Washington.
Yeah, that.
Not to get you
The
angry.
Night of the Living Dead one.
Just figured we'd let you
Yeah,
know.
that everyone basically has.
And it's pretty bad because then people say like, oh, the Misfits, they have bad quality stuff.
I mean, they're so like trying to, you know, stroke Glenn right now with this stuff. Just wait.
And it's just
basically like.
yeah, it's because
The
the
people.
bootleg shows and stuff, which give you.
Well, no one tells them to buy the bootlegs, you know, and they really shouldn't because you can tell immediately what's a bootleg and what's not. A regular record is.
It's actually pretty hard, right? It's not easy to tell. In certain cases, the Japanese Bullet from the late 80s, their Cough Cools, the Beware is hard to tell. There are little hints. There are little, like the shine on the cover of Beware is a great way to tell.
It's like about $8 to $10, or sometimes $6.99 depending on where you get it. And a bootleg is going to be about 20 or 30.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where Glenn is just totally over exaggerating because the original records, even at that time, were going for I can't say that word. I'm not going to say it. Exorbitant. I can't say the word. For very high prices. They were going for high prices. Those records started to go for crazy prices almost immediately after they came out of print, right? Or the earlier pressings did, at least. And so, you know, the bootlegs were filling a market need. People wanted that stuff on vinyl and could not get it for affordable prices. So, I mean, that's more aligned with the reality of that situation. Nobody is pricing an original Bullet for $6.99 or $7.99 and a bootleg Bullet for $30. I mean, come on.
Right? So you should know right away. You can.
Sarah Palin.
Plan 9 Records used to run that, right?
Sarah Palin. Boy, this artificial intelligence text generator really got that wrong. He's asking about Plan 9 Records now.
Yeah.
Is that like totally defunct now?
No.
You still have it going?
Yeah.
Still in Lodi or
No. Caroline runs it.
Carolina?
So for some context for anybody who's curious, Caroline handles all at this point in time in 1990, Plan 9, the distribution of things is handled by Caroline Records, and they work out some deals with like Legacy of Brutality and just, you know, a bunch of records. I mean, that's where Collection 1 comes from. That comes from dealing with Caroline. And he got his start dealing with Caroline all the way back in 1979 when he was putting Beware together, was his reel on Cherry Red. That was, I believe that record was also distributed by Caroline. He made his Caroline connection as early as then. And he was making, you know, by some of the math that I did, and if you've seen the YouTube secret shows that we do for the Patreons and the YouTube members, we crunched some numbers one day to see what kind of money Glenn might have been making in the late 80s from just doing that Caroline distribution deal. And it was again, there were certain like factors, things to consider that we couldn't really account for, but just doing some rough ballpark sort of number crunching, I mean, it was pretty remarkable.
You recently moved or something, didn't you? From
No,
Lodi
I moved last year, a year and a half ago actually.
to Hollywood or something, right?
Yeah.
So how's life in California compared to New Jersey?
It's all right.
You
I
get-
eat everywhere, so.
How long you gonna play tonight? Any plans on how long you're gonna play? 'Cause I know sound
We
good.
usually play about an hour and a half.
Oh, really?
They're running out of questions. How long you gonna play tonight, Glenn? Sorry, I'm being really rough on these kids. They're doing a good job. They're doing a better job than I would do, probably.
How was it last night at the show?
Yeah, it was about 2,500 people there.
Big show. Tomorrow night at the Chalk in Philly.
Yep. Yeah, I've never been there before. Is that a whole also like this?
Yeah, like every band after they play Airport, it's the next day.
Yeah, next day
Rock.
down there. So.
Because Airport, Rock always has, their shows are Sunday, and Airport's always Friday or Saturday.
Right.
Sometimes if it's Friday here, it's Saturday at the Ritz.
You'll get a big crowd on there, like, I don't know, DRI goes down there a lot.
Well, last time we played Philly, we sold out.
At the Empire.
Yeah. Where was that?
The Empire Rock Club.
It was hot as a motherfucker, but we sold out that place last time, so I don't think there'll be a crowd this time, especially with Soundgarden with us.
Soundgarden.
That is something incredible about Danzig. Danzig had such an ear. I was going to say an ear for bands, you know, like really good opening talent, and they took a lot of bands out that would end up just, you know, surpassing them critically, not critically, yeah, I guess actually maybe critically, whatever, mainstream, breaking into the mainstream. How about that? As well as, you know, commercially, like outselling Danzig.
One hot show.
You're gonna like do some shows across the ocean there.
Yeah, we're supposed to go to Japan, Australia. We got Europe happening. I know we're coming back on tour in America. So
Any idea like who you're gonna be with over there?
No, I have no idea. Well, it's going to be a headline.
Do you have any idea of when like the second leg of the U.S. tour will start?
Probably October, I think. Maybe sooner, I don't know. I know we're doing some West Coast dates as soon as we get back from here, like a week or two after.
Whatever happened to like Death Had No Name and stuff like that? Like
We're trying to get Rick to put out another record with all our outtakes on it, because there's a whole bunch of songs, about 6 or 7 songs that aren't on the album.
So I mean, it would take years. It would take 17 years from this interview, but eventually those outtakes would eventually materialize into the lost tracks of Danzig. That would include the outtakes. But that was another sort of revelation from listening to this, is that that notion, that intention to put out like a thing of outtakes was because, again, they recorded when Death Had No Name 4 times. Trouble was done 3 to 4 times. I mean, they had a bunch of stuff, and they were just sitting on all sorts of tracks. I could only imagine. I mean, Danzig's got to have some pretty cool shit in his vault still. Like, you know, when we ever get to hear it, I don't know, but it would be awesome if that happened.
What's that one?
Death Had No Name, Angels of Seventh Dawn, Trouble by Elvis, bunch. There's a bunch.
Lord of the Right Hand.
No, that's a Samhain song.
We're coming up on Manny Martinez. Our RIP is going to make an appearance very, very soon. I'll try and rewind it if I can. It's hard to scrub the audio on this thing, but you're going to hear Manny very, very soon. So perk up your ears for this.
That's on the new Samhain record, Lord to the Left Hand.
Because we kind of got demo tape.
Some kind of demo tape.
Yeah, with a bunch of them. It has that Elvis song, it has Death Had No Name, and it has this Lord of the Right Hand.
Where'd you get this? Is it a boot?
Yeah.
Oh, they just told on themselves. And Glenn gets a little uppity for a minute. Where'd you get this? Is it a boot? Not like that, but you just heard how he suddenly got a little sharp. And I wonder, did he play it cool because he was being interviewed? I mean, we've seen Danzig not give a fuck in the past, so I can't say that that's what happened here. But he goes pretty light on those kids. The kids, you'll see.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh man." That's your response, Glenn? Oh man. I think underneath, I think Glenn's like when I hear this, and I hear the stories about when Glenn could be rough with people. I feel like somewhere deep down, like he's kind of like this is the real Glenn. Like he's just a softie. Oh man, I want to believe that's true. I know that you know he can get rough. I don't know. I just want to believe that's true. I always get such a giggle when with this sort of stuff. You see it elsewhere in certain media that he's done.
Well, we kind of admire stuff, and we want everything. We just want whatever we can get.
Just wait for the good shit, man.
Just wait for the good shit, man. He's playing it real cool. Cool Uncle Glenn. Cool Uncle Glenn. All right, Manny's coming. Manny's coming. I'm gonna try not to talk over it.
Are you gonna be real?
This version of Lords of the Left Hand that's on the Samhain record is way different than that one. Way different.
Anything else that's going to be on there that we might not know about?
There's a song called The Birthing.
I like it. This is better. The Birthing Bees. The Birthing Bees. Thank you, AI text generator. I have a new song on Final Descent. It's called The Birthing Bees. Is that like bees that come out of the JJ or something? I don't know. That sounded really stupid. Sorry. I think it's time for an Extreme Danzig close-up. I don't know if you guys haven't heard this, have you? The Birthing Bees. The Birthing Bees. We used to do Extreme Danzig close-ups all the time. All right, let's keep listening.
Yeah. Death in My Arms.
I used to play in Misfits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen it since I used to be converted and I was
Okay. Yeah, he's doing an interview right now. He'll be done in about 5 minutes. Well, just wait till he gets done.
You guys, when is it like a new up?
I'm working on it.
Yeah, oh, I got it. Alright, I'll wait there, right?
Okay.
Oh, wait, he used to be. That's Manny, the guy that was on the first fucking Cool record. What was his name?
Manny.
Cool.
He's on the Cool record.
Invite him in.
All right, so you guys done? Because we got another group out here.
Yeah, sure.
I love. He's like, all right, get the fuck out of here, man. He's here. How cool is that? It seemed like even Glenn seemed shocked that Manny showed up. Manny was trying to make his way back there. He's like, oh, he's in the middle of an interview, and he's like, why can't I come back here? Why can't I come back here? How great is that, huh? I wish I could make out it. It's very hard to hear what he says. He's like far away, but that was the only time that I ever heard man. That was what, before I met Manny, before any of it, anybody met Manny. That was the only like thing of Manny, right? Isn't that cool? Rest in peace, Manny. Rest in peace. I love that. I love Glenn is so surprised. He's like, whoa. Even Glenn is geeky. He's like, whoa, that's the first drummer of the Misfits from the Cough Cool record. Even Glenn's geeking out over it. That was great. Now he's like, and then suddenly it's like he snaps out of these like kids like Beavis and Butthead like worship of him, and he's like, all right, get the fuck off the bus. I got more people waiting. Like just all of a sudden, really interesting. Really interesting. Let's it's just about over.
Yeah, you want to do it?
This is Glenn Danzig, and you're listening to Chris on WCLH New Music 91.
Cool.
You could even say something evil if you want.
Like, say something evil, Glenn Danzig. Yeah. Say something evil. Say something evil. And what's Glenn's response to that? Nah, I ain't saying nothing evil. That's what he says. Is that the contrarian Glenn Danzig that I hear about all the time now? Like that, whatever you want from him, hey, give us some of that more Danzig 4P. Nope, you're getting Black Acid Devil. Hey, give us Samhain on vinyl. Nope, we're going to put out 777 and 666 on vinyl. You know what I mean? I'm not saying anything evil. The kid's like pushing it. Do something evil. Come on. Yeah, do something evil. Yeah, evil. Fire.
So we want a controversy.
Nah, that's okay. Hello, this is Glenn Danzig, and you're listening to John. He's got no last name on New Music 91. WCLH.
I wish he had said something evil. That would have been cool. All right, that's it. That's the tape. That's the tape. Did you enjoy this tonight? I mean, we haven't done one of these in so long. I have another interesting Danzig artifact for us to look at sooner than later. We'll take a look at it. It will be a lot of fun. But I think that concludes it for this evening. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. Keep your eyes peeled for the Manny tribute. Keep your eyes peeled for more John Christ. We have the last part of John Christ coming out very, very soon. Keep your eyes peeled for the compilation video that I said I did of the first 3 shows that I tacked on a new intro. Keep your eyes peeled for that. We got all sorts of stuff. We got a lot of stuff coming in the new year as well. I have my documentary, not that one that you all want, not that one, though. I made a gonzo documentary about trying to make no budget independent films that probably nobody gives a shit about, but it's very personal. It's really like a piece of my soul, like really a piece of my heart and soul. It's taken from my personal diaries and all this stuff, and I turned it into this feature. I don't know how it happened. I just, because I was getting my second feature ready for Blu-ray distribution, which I'm putting out by myself through my own LLC, and have the burn the computer right here and all the test pressings and whatnot. I was doing the behind the scenes thing, and I ended up, it started off as a 20-minute behind the scenes featurette, and I was like, whoa, there's a whole story here that can be told with a beginning, middle, and end. And so if you are into like filmmaking, if you're into art, if you are an artist, if you're creative, if you're fighting against the grind of life and job and all this stuff to try and like express your artistic soul through your art, then this movie will speak to you, I think. And it's very self-indulgent, and it's very gonzo. It's so gonzo. It's more gonzo than all of this stuff. And this is the most this is gonzo right here. If you don't know what gonzo means, go look it up, and not that other stuff. Get your head out of the gutter. So that's coming soon. That'll be on the channel eventually as well. Patreons and YouTube members will see that first. And that's really it. Winston's asking, what did they have that was bootleg? I couldn't hear it. They said they had a demo. They said they had a demo that was a bootleg. That's what they said. So make sure to join the Patreon too. If you like this stuff, join the Patreon. We got so much great stuff at the Patreon as well. All right. That's enough out of me. Really, truly, that's enough out of me. Okay. Peace and hair grease. We will see you real soon. Goodbye.